Hi there, it's Michael André Ford, your American Angel Intuitive in San Antonio, Texas. Just here to talk about the universe, letting go, getting a little assistance from the universe. If there's one thing I do, I guess I teach about the universe, how to connect to the universe with no barriers. It's going to sound complex, but you're already fully connected most of your day when you're not thinking. Literally, the degree of difficulty with hitting a light switch, brushing your teeth, falling asleep at night is all I'm talking about here. The universe provides, put it that way. It doesn't matter whether we're coming from a philosophical or philosophy perspective, religious, cultural, India, non-duality, spirituality, universe, woo-woo-woo, UFOs. It's a lot of different communities out there. Everyone's doing what they're doing. You're spending your energy how you're spending your energy. I don't think anything I could say for the next 10 years straight on these videos could change how you're going to just spend your energy. The shocking thing is, and this is a shocker, I waste a ton of energy by being up here thinking. I judge, react, fear, stress, worry, reject. What am I missing? Guilt, all the different vibrations that are not love and above. We're going to do that all day long. Thinking isn't going away. Thinking is, if you could do 7% less thinking a day, according to one angel, that's the Olympic gold medal for all of us. For just letting go a little more, getting out of the rat race that's not external. This isn't about climate change or this thing going on in this country or that political policy out there. It's all about just taking a breath, smiling, relaxing, going fishing, hugging your dog, making a salad. A little more Thich Nhat Hanh, Pieces Every Step, that little teeny thin book, maybe 50 pages. It's how do you possibly enjoy cleaning the dishes? Now, I was talking about the universe when I came in on this, and so I'm going to mention angels, alien life forms, non-corporeal life, energy-based life forms. It's just another way to say interdimensional loving beings, your relatives, your past pet who's passed over, obviously, figures from India, about 25 of them, Vishnu, Krishna, Ganesh, Gandhi, Rama, Mother Teresa, I'm going to now blank out. The Divine Mother, the tiger that she rides on, Sri Kaleshwar, Sri Shirdi Sai Baba. It goes on and on and on. If it's Buddha and you happen to like Buddhism, Quan Yin, Chogyam Trungpa, Thich Nhat Hanh, you like Native American chiefs, Don't Life, Red Shirt, Geronimo, Black Elk, Crazy Horse, Red Cloud, White Buffalo, Calfwoman, Chief Joseph. If you happen to like the Stoics or just philosophers, Plato, Socrates, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and so on. Look, there's a couple hundred folks, more than that actually, if you counted everybody's guardian angels and angels that are part of their teams. You have a unique cheerleading squad. You're not alone on this planet. This might be the key phrase these days is interdimensionality, I guess. That's popped up a lot more, or consciousness. There's entire groups dedicated to consciousness research, or there's entire groups on the whole quantum field thing, or science. Science is so evidence-based that if they would just get out of their own way and start doing a little listening to the universe, they could get their answers right away. So let me back up. You can have any answers to any questions, all languages spoken, all dialects. I don't see your questions. I don't see your answers. You have to have the guts to be here, which you're there most of the day. Just your brain's not going to give you any credit for it. Your intellect is there to kind of control things like a computer chip that's completely unnecessary. So you could have 16 PhDs on the wall and 19 New York Times bestsellers, but be absolutely unable to show up to meet angels, or see angels or hear angels. And angels come from all over, all shapes, sizes, colors, all different purposes. They're all love and above. Get to the point of no interference. You have free will. But they also have, all sorts of background. For 12 years I've been doing this, and for at least 10 to 11 years I've heard, they're from way, way out. Lots of times if you ask about their background, you just hear really far away. But lately, one angel just said background is Andromeda, another angel Orion, another angel Sirius, my guardian angel. It goes on and on. So I'm not shocked with all the UFO, UAP disclosure stuff, and that whole community is awesome. They're doing what they've got to do to track the details. It's like fantasy football. You have to look at statistics. You got to follow the blow by blow. You can't just throw a dart at the ceiling and expect to get a good player in fantasy football. I get it. But what I think's kind of missed in the whole UFO UAP thing, and again, I've had guests on my show, Angels, Positivity, and Love, who are just some of the most amazing, nicest, conscientious people. Grant Levac in Australia, shout out to you. Vinnie Adams, oh my God, in the UK, one of the nicest people in the world. Go follow his, I hope I get this right, Disclosure Team Instagram and Disclosure Team on X or Twitter. One of the nicest guys in the world. And for the whole spirituality woo-woo thing, I was so happy to meet him, and he did a bunch of stuff before the show that I forgot to do anything on the show. I at least usually light some sage and blow the smoke to the guest. I was thrilled just to make his acquaintance. He's a really special person. And I think he's the example I'd like to use. You don't have to be Buddhist to meet Buddha. And in fact, it's usually the opposite. The Buddhist community, if I go knock on the door and I'm like, hey, do you want to meet Buddha? And I don't mean to generalize. I've got a beautiful Buddhist chaplain in Prague who met Buddha, angels, saw directly, got his answers, and so on. And so some other pretty famous folks too. Do they want to do it again? I don't know. The one in Prague absolutely would. But your proclivity with the way you've structured your community is those issues are really important to you. Because they're so important to you, it's almost like an extra obstacle to get over. Like if it's the Jesus crowd, meeting Jesus is a big deal. You can meet Jesus, Mary, Buddha, Muhammad. You can do God, but I've never had anybody see God. I've never even thought to do it. I describe God as all voices at once, and you got to be really good at the listening for angels, your relatives, Geronimo, Einstein, whoever, so you get some practice in. But the point of this is, if it's a person from India, they might want to meet Sababa first, and they can do everything else. They get the seeing done, they get to Sababa, and they only get to see a column of light they can't actually see, because it's kind of, I got it. It's like Tom Brady, when Tom Brady played football for the Patriots. You're so excited about meeting Tom Brady, nothing else matters, and it's a little more balanced or nuanced than that. This is basic listening, basic feeling, basic seeing. Again, the degree of difficulty is the light switch or brushing your teeth, falling asleep at night. What's the stuff you don't think about? Walking across a room, tying your shoelaces. These are actually pretty complex tasks, but we give no importance to them whatsoever. The brain is limited. The brain is so limited that it totally, in a way, ruins our ability to interact with the universe, to get answers, to function at a higher level, to grow our awareness. It's there to put the kibosh on everything. It's why science is so slow and behind, actually. There's a greater universal knowledge that doesn't preclude possibility. There's a greater physics that goes well beyond anything humans have even touched upon. We'll say 1% of 1% of science is in the human realm, and the rest is actual, like, just reality. And, you know, every time they chip away at the ice and something falls out of the ice, they say, Eureka, we know everything. And I would be doing that tomorrow if I was an astrophysicist. This isn't pointing fingers. But my point is, it doesn't matter whether you're a garbage truck person, a plumber, an athlete, a stoic, an author, a Buddhist, a this, a that. Anyone can do more listening. Anyone can do more feeling. Anyone can do more seeing or connect to the universe with no barriers, period. And in fact, if I just clunk somebody over the head, like the British Royal Navy in the 1860s, I think they used to Shanghai people and put them on board those tall ships and kind of enslave them for a couple of years, indentured servants to work on the tall ship. If I just clock somebody over the head and forced them to meet angels without violating their free will, they'd probably do great. They'd probably do better tapping into their psychic abilities or their ability to listen, feel, and see than most of the psychics across the country. Now, sometimes there's that expression, you got to do things 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times to become the best expert. And there's something to it. But there are a lot of naturals. And that's why I mentioned that one individual before. Holy cow. It is such a breath of fresh air for humanity to know that literally 1 out of 3 people is just a complete natural at letting go. That means you. And that means, I'd argue, it's 50% or 75%. You'd really have to be thinking a lot and so identified with your role in society that you think you know something to block basic listening and feeling and seeing. It's like, how do you interact with the dog, your garden, the relative you pick up at the airport in the middle of a big crowd? No way you can hear the relative, but your eyes connect. This is a relative that you like who doesn't owe you money. You're super excited to see them, or a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, whoever that you like. You're at the airport, your eyes connect, and there's the transmission, Buddhist transmission. What is that energy? Your eyes connect, and there's a sizzle, and you're like, hey, and you feel reconnected again. You can't hear each other. The crowd's too much at Dulles International Airport. That is what you get to see in terms of light. You get to see light, consciousness, the force from Star Wars, auras, the Hindu chakras. You can see it on your hands. In Celestine Prophecy, they do it this way. In India, they do it this way. I'll do it in a second with this background, but Blue Sky works, any shut-off TV. If one person does it over there and another person does it there, they get to see their light gold, green, yellow, pink, whatever. They each put a finger out. They could be half the glow stick. And you could do this and see light flowing this way, or you could just see light flowing between your body, or go grab your pooch, see their aura, and see your light as you talk baby talk to your dog. See the light everywhere on trees. Guess what consciousness is? It's just love. And if I have to speculate on something, I mean, I know angels exist. I help people see them in full-on human form out and about town. You get all your answers. You get a hug. You can feel a human hand. All languages spoken, all dialects. More importantly than that, they just know how to say everything the way you, with all your complexity for personality, need to hear it. You know, you and I might agree that karma, birds of a feather, what goes around comes around is a great idea. But out of the 10,000 ways you could say it, there's only 2 ways I really like it that are completely different than the 2 ways you like it. So I hear birds of a feather, you hear what goes around comes around. So that vibration comes in, it might be the same, but mine turns into Japanese because I'm from Japan, I speak Japanese, I'm not. And it also turns into that dialect from that northern village that only I can understand and the nuances. Plus it turns into the way I need to hear it, which is just, I think, a mini miracle. Speaking of which, there's healing, colorblind people have seen color. There's actual healing. It's completely between you and the universe or angels or whatever figures that are delivering just lots of love, helping you strip away the varnish on the wood. I stay out of the condition. I don't see any of your questions or your answers. I do have you name a fruit name out loud. If it's papaya, it represents your financial situation. I don't know that it represents your financial situation. I can just kind of tell you got a big one you want to ask about. I'm like, let's give it a fruit name. The universe knows what papaya means. Your angels, Geronimo, Sababa, Einstein, Sri Kaleshwar, Vishnu, they know what it means. You guys have a chat and get it sorted out so that you let go of the topic from a problem standpoint. My problem is, my drama is, my situation is, I'm stuck, to, hey, this is my opportunity for growth, I can let it go. Now, very few of us get a layoff notice or a divorce, like, hey, honey, I want to get a divorce. A death in the family is probably the best example. Any of those things that are hiccups, health crisis, you get a notice that you've got bad health. Any of us, no one says, this is my opportunity for growth, I'm so glad this happened, now I can do this. Usually we spend years stuck. We spend years letting situations develop and build up. We know what we know, and no outsider telling you anything is going to lessen your knowing. You're the only one who can do your own letting go, do your own figuring out. Angels know this. They stand by patiently. You're never alone. You're always heard. But the second you're ready for just more expanded consciousness, more awareness, more help, you can ask for it. Imagine if you could only see things from a broader perspective, how simple every complex situation is a thinking situation. Your brain, your ego, your psyche, your intellect is there to convince you it's some big deal. And usually everything, there's like 1, 2, or 3 steps you need to take to remove yourself from the situation. I think Eckhart Tolle in A New Earth or Power of Now describes how to handle pretty much every situation pretty concisely. That doesn't help anybody to hear it when they feel like they're stuck and stuff's happening to them. Again, lots of movies and shows lately and guests on the show, my show on YouTube, have talked about how events don't happen to you, they happen for you. So there's something about down here that's called awareness, unconditional love, timelessness, no limits. There's a million descriptions for this, and there's a million descriptions for up here. Thinking, intellect, ego, negativity, psyche, resistance, judging, worry, fear, stress. I would argue that most of human thinking is a complete waste of time. I'm going to do a ton of it every single day. Nothing I can do about it. It's just not in the cards for humanity that thinking is going to get lifted off of you. I don't think people realize how limiting it is in every situation. You think you know something, and usually most of the human knowing precludes possibility, which if you saw how big the universe is, how sparkly it is, how love is truly the fabric of the universe. If you're worried about something, climate change, alien invasion, whatever, you're protected. Trust in that. If you need to hear it straight from an angel and see an angel to, quote, prove it so that you relax about some topic, do it. Also, it's not up to humans to fix anything. I know the proclivity for humans is to get in there and that, we're at the top of the apex. We need to fix and control everything. That's actually just ego. It's just more thinking. Most of our words, it's just more egoic structure. What are you going to do? Again, I do it all the time. I'll do it for the rest of the day today. But when you're in your heart and you're doing your happy place and you're doing your happy stuff, or you don't even know that you're not up here, you're just relaxing while you're brushing your teeth. Those are acts of compassion. Your exercise. I'm a runner since I was 14. I'm 56 now. So I've been a runner for 42 years. I took calculus in 9th grade. Don't tease me. Exercise is a form of compassion. An angel said that the other day or last year, and ever since I've been like, wow, marveling over that. There's a trillion layers of extra compassion, awareness. The whole point in exercise of being here is, I love that I'm going to go blank. The point in exercise of being here is just simply that growth, awareness expansion, or expansion in general, learning, never stops. Few humans get that. You experience some success on the career front, like you've done a TED Talk, 9 books, 2 PhDs, and you've been on Oprah, Super Soul Sunday. There's not much point after that if your schedule's filled with bookings for 5 years to do much more self-exploration, but that's exactly the point of the exercise. It's show love always, love more, allow more, and you would not believe how much that is true. So that even if you've kind of made it, achieved, you can still have a rocky implosion 4 years down the line to kind of remind you that, hey, life isn't about the achievements, it's not about the failures. You need to let both of those go to allow for your continued unique life path to unfold. Now, what's cool about it, as soon as you figure out the difference between the hot stove, when it glows orange, if you remember those old stoves, you touched it, you got burned, you learn never to do that again. That's what this is. As soon as you recognize what that flow is about, you'd be insane to want to ever do thinking again. Unfortunately, that's exactly what we do. You can let ego serve as a reminder for what? Take a breath, smile, breathe, relax, drop to your heart, go do a walk, sing a song, play music, cook. There's a million ways to get to here. Unfortunately, there's like 10 million ways to get waylaid or sidetracked. Just put on the news and watch it for a minute. Talk to a neighbor and gossip. React to how your sports team didn't do in the NFL draft, and so on. So I'm shocked if it's the Casablanca movie analogy with Humphrey Bogart. I'm shocked to see there's gambling going on at the casino if gambling happens to be thinking and stuff like that. What are you going to do? But that is the path for all of man, is just doing a little less thinking. Again, an angel said 7% less thinking. That's the gold medal standard for us all. And watch what happens for, maybe it's the young scientists, the ones who are just now in university about to graduate, that have curiosity and are willing to allow for the universe to be far bigger than anything humans have even conceived yet. We're hearing a lot more about interdimensionality and other beings and stuff like that. I think that's kind of a given now, I hope. I know you got to have an official disclosure thing, and you're more focused on tech and the bodies and the reverse engineering that, which company's doing what, but it's really not the point of the exercise. It is at one level. But I'm going to argue, and this is a very important sport, in Texas it's gospel, if I said it correctly, as a metaphor. High school football in Texas is kind of considered sacrosanct. And I know university football, NCAA is really big. Alabama, Auburn, I'm skipping all my other teams, LSU, and I'm blanking right now, who was just in the big tournament, Super Bowl thing. But then there's the NFL. And I'm going to argue that the NFL has nothing to do with what you see about in the news. If you see compassion, unconditional love, and if you hear about beings of light here to assist, don't want to interfere, it's love and above. That's the NFL. It's hardly mentioned in a podcast anywhere. The focus is on the chasing of facts and details, like a bunch of Sherlock Holmes running around. They gotta dot the I's and cross the T's. You have to do a FOIA request. You gotta know where the bodies lie and who did what to whom. But if you think about it, it's a little bit like the 5 women or the 5 men going out on a walk, and all they do is gossip about the HOA and which neighbor did which thing to which neighbor. That's not the point of the exercise. This is about loving more, expansion, growth. I'll say it this way. Let's throw the holy hand grenade into this conversation. All of us watching right now, including me, you can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason in the world. Now, half of us just said, but what about my situation is, my problem is, I'm stuck. Hey, Michael, you haven't seen my bank account. I say to you, you haven't seen my bank account. We're all in agreement. Like, whoa, how could anything be simple? How could we be happy now in this very moment for no reason whatsoever? That's because the heart is like an Olympic gold medalist swimmer. Mark Spitz, I named one finally. You're already an Olympian. That's why you're already a psychic off the charts. You're better than James Van Praagh, Tyler Henry, the Hollywood medium combined. I love both those guys. Go do their classes, buy their books. Don't listen to me. But I'm just telling you, your skills in your heart are like Pele with a soccer ball or making salads. If you really wanted to apply yourself and make the best Caesar salad or a beet walnut, I don't know what it's called, type of salad with vinaigrette, you can do anything you allow yourself to kind of flow into. You have no limits. Granted, there are some things for some people we shouldn't let them drive ever, period. Like out of some Hollywood movies. But what I'm trying to say is you really have no limits. And part of the adulting thing, or when you became an adult, like you knew no limits as a kid at some point during your being a child. And that innocence is what I'd like to focus on. Innocence is the way to realize non-duality. Innocence is the way you get over right or wrong. There's just proper understanding. There's none of this, but I'm stuck. What about this? What about that? The people who are asking a million questions are usually doing it to avoid dropping into their body and feeling and being the expanse, the consciousness that's present in every object, every living thing, and how we're all interconnected. Now, I've got a little book called Listening to Angels. It's $7.99. If you think I wrote it, thank you very much. You should say, hey, I think you wrote this book. It's absolutely impossible that I wrote the book. I saw balls of light as I was typing. It's completely light language, angel language. It's gentle. It's easy. 3-time New York Times bestseller, Anita Morjani did a little, a book endorsement. Wrote the nicest little thing about the book. It's a 20-minute read. It's got photos of angels in the book. I got nervous like 12 years ago, seeing, hearing, feeling, whatever. I took a Sure Shot camera and I got photos of Plato, fairies, tons of balls of light, but other shapes. Another community I never mentioned is the orb community. You can say orbs, but I mean, they're all shapes, sizes, and colors. They're not orbs. There's a shape of a fairy. I've got photos I haven't even shown that are not circular. So I think that whole thing gets blown up a little bit. But again, it doesn't matter what I think. Everyone should do whatever they're rocking. You should rock the color blue. You should rock the color gold. You should say deciduous trees or conifer. You should say Argentina, but not Canada. People say I hate sushi. People say I like sushi. There's 60,000 communities out there. They all have their own particular lingo and their own methodology of approaching life. But what I try to do is either slash through it all or cater to each one of those specific needs from the 60,000 communities. Because the Catholic crowd has to have it the Mary, Jesus, God, Michael only, and maybe Gabriel only method. The person from India, it's like 40 countries in one there. Each one is a little different. They don't like Sri Kaleshwar, but they like Sri Shirdi Sai Baba. I just had an American get upset at me for not saying Sri Shirdi in front of Sai Baba. Oy vey. You couldn't people please if you tried on this planet. There's 7 to 9 billion trillion people, whatever it is, 7 billion people. But what you can make is the offer to do a little listening, feeling, and seeing. It's just more love. What are you willing to allow for? So you can be happy now in this very moment. No reason whatsoever. And that is about showing love, being love, and just allowing a little more in each moment. That's the actual rub here, the crux. It's so easy to get preoccupied or fixed or put your Sherlock Holmes glass up, the magnifying aspect. And again, wherever you put your focus is where you put it. If you choose to focus on violence in the news, your choice. If you choose to focus on peace, inner peace, you'll experience more of whatever you're putting your focus on. That's not too complex as a theory. If you're just allowing and listening, wherever you put your attention, the universe is going to meet you. And I, again, want to remind the scientific community, imagine what happens when you start listening. Maybe you've got to go meditate for a while, light a candle, do some sort of a ritual. But basic listening is basic listening. Do you have a pen, piece of paper? How fast can you use one of these? Australians are so good at this. One woman did 9 hours listening, 48 pages of answers. I just checked in every 2 hours. No limits is no limits. What does that look like to you? Ditch the whole woo-woo-woo, aliens, spirituality, religion, compassion, fluffiness, all the talk that we just did. What are you even allowing for in your life day to day? Are you allowing for a more fun job? allowing for more responsibility in the direction that you want to take responsibility on, you want to be taken more seriously or just have more fun on a certain career track? What about loved ones? Are you having enough love? Are you sharing enough love? Are you having enough fun on the relationship front? Are you keep saying you're not going to get a dog because you just can't afford one, you don't have time, you work too much, you travel too much? You get what I'm saying. Like, where's the rub in your actual day-to-day life? Are you keep talking about exercise for 5 years, but you haven't gotten out the door or gone to the gym or gotten a gym membership? It's a little bit like those New Year's Eve or New Year's resolutions. There's something about this up here that is not love and above. It's the opposite. It's a little bit of negativity, 1% of 1%. Now, if you're hating somebody, really rejecting something violently, or guilt, fear, worry, those are a little higher percentages. Welcome to being human. We can't help ourselves. Look, everybody's thinking that says it's a certain way. If I talk to somebody from the UAP community or from this community or that community, and they say it's absolutely this way, and they're going with the blow by blow, I mean, the thinking they're using to size up the situation is the same thinking but turned up on steroids that is the global wars and how humans have done human-to-human violence into the hundreds of millions of dead. I mean, I don't want to make it sound glum here, but it's the same human thinking that allows for smokestacks that are really doing polluting. It's the same thinking that wants to do censorship. It's the same thinking that wants to do control. It's the same thinking that tells you have to think a certain way. I'm hopefully not telling you how to think. You do you, Scotty P. No regrets, to quote We're the Millers. But at the end of the day, when you decide to do a little less thinking, watch how much your universe, your experience, your life opens up. 7% less thinking. I got a calculator out. I already forgot the answer. I'll say that's an hour and 50 minutes, hour and a half, hour and 36 minutes maybe a day of less thinking. That's it. Your whole life changes. That's quoting an angel here. So I deliver the goods. I'm delivering an experience. I've just talked more than I normally ever talk. But these dumb YouTube videos, I got to talk. And luckily, I'm a little bit of a talker from my public relations days in New York City. 16 plus years, couple of years on Wall Street. I looked super young back then. Hopefully still look a little young now. But this isn't about talking. It's not about words. It's just about taking a breath, smiling, being in your heart. You have a shiny, infinite you that never went away. If you want to do that nostalgic, looking back in time, when was the peak time for you? Was it high school, the prom, when you were an A athlete? What am I supposed to say? Varsity letter athlete or a university athlete? Or when you took that trip to Greece, defying all the odds that one summer and you did it. That bravado, that esprit de corps, that joie de vivre, that ability to live life to the fullest has never left you. Just like love is a constant around you and within you, and your sparkle has always existed. Try telling the brain any of this. Your brain's going, but he doesn't understand my situation. My problem is I got 19 dogs. I'm on my 9th divorce in 3 weeks. You just don't understand. And it could be health crises that are very real. But what I'm talking about is how you got there to these situations. Thinking just builds up, and it's like a volcano. It's got to blow, and that's when you have the car wreck, the health crisis, and everything else to try to help you straighten out. You have unlimited ability to tap the now, the present moment, your giant flow of life. It never left you. I love the quote, love is a constant, open your eyes to see love. Or love is everywhere, open your eyes to see love. If you don't like the word love, switch it around. Unconditional love, awareness, the flow of life, the force from Star Wars. We're back to that. Humans are so damn ingenious. It's hard to make anything foolproof around here for lingo. Every community, 60,000 communities have their own vocabulary. It's like a freaking landmine field for me. I mispronounce everything. I mispronounce names. I mix up names. I say it backwards. And if I'm trying to meet somebody for the first time, sometimes they take it personally. So I'm very sorry about that. But the bottom line is you have no limits. Good luck believing it. It might take 10 years, might not be this lifetime that you decide to do anything. But let me light some sage for you. You can smell sage through 2 screens. Just ask the universe to bring it to you. My only rule or structure in 12 years, just if you don't mind me saying angels exist, they exist. Trust that this is so. Your sage smell in a second, your answers, hugs, seeing them full on, and more will come. Maybe it's got to be dream time. Maybe you need a week, a month, a decade. Maybe it's 2 lifetimes from now that you can do this. But When I say no limits to any answers, you get no limits to any experience too. Angels can visit you with your eyes shut. You can have an interdimensional experience. Have ancient Egypt come to you, India, Nepal, Tibet, the Middle East. Walk the Akashic records directly, and you just know how to surf like a pro if it's Hawaii. Okay, give yourself permission. Give yourself a break. Do smelling without smelling. Catching the scent without catching the scent. The Zen thing. I love Zen, Buddhism, Zen. There's a lot of expressions that are trying to communicate that you've arrived at home in your heart. So look at the sage, leave your eyes on the sage, give yourself permission to let go, ask your higher self to help you, ask your ancestors, your relatives to help you, but use the old setting your intent expression. Hey, angels, get me out of my head, into my heart, help me let go and smell the sage that Michael's blowing in Texas through 2 screens to me, wherever you are. And it might be 2028, 2032. You're watching this old video from 2024. Okay, catch some sage. I've done this as a guest on 50 shows. All my guests, -1 on the show, -2 if you count one in the future, have done this. Lorna Byrne, I got shy with. I only did sage with her. She said in Ireland she didn't smell the sage, but she got daisies or roses. So let this smell of sage reach you, but ask for flowers as well. Plenty of guests have gotten sage, flowers, and if you want to go crazy because you're already getting it, ask for Hawaii or some ocean smell in the air. Close your eyes and hear the palm fronds, hear the wave action. Catch a little spritz, sea spritz on your nose. I'll do that again in a second. What will you allow for is the rub. When you're in your brain, your ego, your psyche, your intellect is there to shut everything down. There's no way any of this is happening. It's impossible to smell sage. All these people it's mass psychosis for the last 12 years. It's their problem. It's not real. I don't know how else to say it. You just go look at some YouTube comments and then go look at the other YouTube comments. Oh my God, I smelled the sage. Now I've tried to put some of those up on my website, including when they smell lavender and they write in and they say this and that. Imagine how many smell something and aren't typing anything. So that's a reminder. Type out a comment, not a jackass comment, but a nice comment. Most of the jackass stuff, I love it. When I get a criticism, I'm able to take the lingo and put it into the scanner that blocks the lingo. So you're just feeding the dictionary that gets you blocked faster the next time around. But put a positive comment. Tons of flowers, people smelling sage, feeling angel energy through 2 screens. Lots of positivity going on. It comes down to each person. If I said to you, you're going to go play tennis in 2 months from now, a lot of people are like, I haven't been on a tennis court ever or in 2 months. I don't know if I'd like it. You know, we got a million ways to resist anything. If I gave you a chocolate ice cream cone, you might react and be like, but I'm on a diet. I mean, we have so many ways to do thinking. It's just, I could blow up right now in the brain and literally go poof, and I'm gone. On the other hand, humans have this infinite shiny potential to love, compassion. Think of complete strangers out there. You've seen someone wave somebody through a 4 stop sign intersection. Why does someone do that? Why does someone wave hi to a complete stranger or smile to a neighbor that they might not like, but they just happen to be in a good mood and they want to show whatever that part of humanity is that does that type of outreach? You're not stopping the person, running over to their car, yanking the grandmother out, taking her purse, and trying to look for a political party affiliation card or which way they voted in the last election. You're just doing it out of your heart. Welcome to the fun side of being human. Sorry, I've got a dog who's about to go bark. So what I'm trying to say is you've got no limits. Let the universe do its job. Trust more, allow more, have more fun. Let me go ahead and show you some light on my fingers. I'll talk a little bit more to get my vibe up. Think of a beach trip that you took. Think of a vacation, a picnic. Think of a loved one that you just know is just shiny. That's the person that lights up your day. If you had a personal problem, you'd call them and you know you'd feel better. There's always somebody like that around. That's all I'm talking about is you get to enjoy walking a smoother path, get any answers to any questions, get hugs. Think of it as light waves of vibration passing through you. You feel lighter, you jettison your thinking. Now, let your heart do some seeing through your eyes. It's the light you're seeing everywhere, all over the place, but your brain is so good at controlling your experience in life that you'd never know any of this stuff exists. If you woke up first thing in the morning and that recessed light right there, the little recessed pot light, not this bigger one right there, that one right there, First thing in the morning, before you know your name, brush your teeth, could put your sandals on, anything. Before you have your cup of coffee or tea. Turn that on and look. It'll be a beach ball sized rainbow light circles. This is probably the easiest thing I can give you. And then watch, and you'll admire it. You'll be like, oh, wow, you're so tired. It's like being drugs or a concert or something. You're like, wow, that's so pretty. Orange, rainbow light, the whole thing. As your thinking kicks in, it gets smaller and smaller. You're like, wait, what am I looking at? And now it's down to like a cantaloupe. And finally, you extinguish it, the more your intellect kicks in. The job of the intellect is to smush all of this stuff, get it out of the equation so you're stuck. And there's lots of philosophies, religions, self-help classes there to help you try to work all that stuff out. Look, so here's my energy between two fingers. Let yourself go, breathe, relax, have fun. I'll tell you one quick dad joke. What's the only flower found on the human face? Tulips. See a little filament of light between my fingers, white, gold, green, yellow. No triota. Do not. There is no tri. See what you can see flowing between my fingers. This is from Celestine Prophecy, the movie. They do it this way, but they do it this way in India. It's the same difference. Not everybody in India knows this, but India is like 40 countries at once. It's harder for me to do it this way standing up. Okay, give yourself a break. Ask your higher self, your soul, angels to support you. Just see a little filament of light. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Make sure you check out Angels, Positivity, and Love on my YouTube channel. Guests are coming on doing this stuff all the time. They talk to angels. I put up an angel photo. I got angel photos on the website. I got the book. Leave a comment on the YouTube stuff. Please hit subscribe, like, share this. Not enough people are seeing it. There's no way we got 20 views on a show when we were getting 300, 3,000 before. And these are some really famous folks. The only difference between our show and everybody else's is we actually deliver the experience before the show, after the show. Maybe I've known the person for a few years. They've done it before. So there's something special going on. So I feel super fortunate. I'm off the hook because if two separate people do it, and they own it. They own being in their heart. This isn't about PhDs, intellect, this scientific community at Stanford. This is about direct experience. And Einstein said it best. The only source of knowledge is experience. And I think we can rest that. So forget about evidence-based science or this or that. If you haven't noticed, it changes all the time. We're discovering 1% of 1% of 1%, and we're always behind. That's the scientific stuff. And I'm not knocking it. That's the only way you can go if you want to go linear. We're talking about nothing linear. We're talking about going beyond, interdimensional. We're talking galactic. We're talking universe. We're talking unconditional love flows. We're talking why you could score 6 soccer goals in a row in your community soccer game like Pele. Probably meet Pele. I haven't had him join the crew yet, hopefully. But you can meet Elvis. You can meet Debbie Ford. You can meet Sylvia Brown. You can meet Einstein, Rama, Mother Teresa, Chogyam Trungpa, Gandhi. It's 200 plus figures. They're listed at my website. I got 101 testimonials. I think 18 are videos. The rest are written. Technically, almost every guest, minus like 2 or 1, is a testimonial in a way, if you want to count it that way. And that's we have 141 shows booked. What was into January, February, May. We went to 2 shows a week. Now we went to 3 shows a week. June 1st through September 30th, it's 3 shows a week. That should teach this YouTube algorithm something. Hit the smash that subscribe button or the like button. Just simply stick it to YouTube right now. Let's do it. But so 3 shows a week, and then we're going back to 2, so I stay sane. And I think we're at December 1st now. We reeled back the guests by populating more each week. But I'll get those bookings up, let my old New York City self kick in. We'll probably keep that 3 a week thing going in the fall. Let's wait and see. Again, if you want to let an angel photo, historical photo move, a photo of Audrey Hepburn, go to my website, look at the photo, allow for your heart to do the seeing, get out of your own way, let her do her job, and wink, smile, eyebrow goes up, wait and see what happens. Okay, Michael André Ford in Texas, your American Angel Intuitive. Enjoy. Get in touch if you want.